Hello everybody, this is a Lamley showcase. It's a preview and a good one at that. I've got the second to last mix of car culture in 2024 from Hot Wheels. It is race day, mix we've seen before. It's a sequel, but more importantly, one of the most talked about models and chases of the year is here. I've got Rexy and I've got Roxy. We will finish off with these, but let's start with the other four, no slouches whatsoever for race day. This is a fantastic set. Now, I will tell you that the way it's going, Japan Historics is hitting right now, and then it's going to be TerraTrek. That showcase is coming, but I really wanted to let you see these fantastic models once Mattel sent them and go through this mix, so we will do that. But it's going to be TerraTrek first, and then Race Day, then Modern Classics, then 2024 is over. So let's get to it. Obviously, racing cars are the theme, and we've got some good ones here outside of the Porsches. So I think we can go in order, because this is number 0 and 1, so we'll move those to the side. And let's go to number 2. So I will show you, this is one thing I will do with these cards before I open them up, is we'll go through the numeral sequence, because they have done this with Race Day before and Hot Wheels is doing it again. Julian and his packaging art team. If you notice, this is number 1, and if you notice, there's the Porsche. If you look in the background, you see number 2. Notice right there under the word race, there's number 2. Now this one, it's actually hard to see, but it's there, kind of. But you will get number 3. Now if you look at number 3, it's actually, well, see, it'll have number 1, the Porsche. Number 3 in this positioning, where the Corvette is here, the Bentley is here, and you can see the tail end of Rexy as well. And then if you keep going, and now I'm just making a mess, to number 4, you will see another piece of Rexy, plus you'll see a sliver of the Bentley, just like that. These cars are running neck and neck. And then if you look there behind the Nissan Z, you will see running in last place, unfortunately, is the Group 5 BMW. So we will do that in sequence. It's actually kind of cool that they do it that way. And we've seen it before. Actually, we saw it just in TerraTrek. You'll see that in the art when we do that showcase. But let's get to number 2 as promised. It is the Corvette C8.R. And, well, let me show you the back. There are the models there. That's going to be a minute before we see that, but I think these are hitting in Malaysia right now. So it probably won't be that long before we see these at hobby dealers and in stores. This is, in a sense, a sequel as well, kind of formulating the Corvette IMSA C8R racing team in premium. They did it in the first year of this model being in basic, but a few years ago, this hit Team Transport in the signature yellow that we've seen in the IMSA Corvette and the C8R. And just like they did that they used the gray as the recolor, it's now been a few years, but we now get the gray model here to run side by side with the yellow model. So let's go ahead and open it up, put it on the turntable. Got the little insert plastic here. Put that over here, and here it is. I can actually just put it next to the yellow, and you can see it's essentially reversed. There are some differences, of course, but this is number 3, this is number 4. I think that is duplicated in the basics. But yeah, it's just reverse colors, but I'm really glad they did this one, because seeing them together like this is fantastic. Wheels are the same, obviously the casting is the same. That's already, it's cool to see this set being completed. Not really completed, maybe. I mean, that duo being completed, obviously, with the Corvette. So already we're off to a good start. That's number 2. Number 3, 2018 Bentley Continental GT3 in a racing livery, but not a racing livery, right? This is the GT3. This one will almost be like the track car version without numbering on it. Maybe there was something that I would assume that Hot Wheels would have wanted to put a number on this one, but you always get a little complicated with the licensing, and who knows, it's still very nice. And we saw this casting just debuting in Fast and Furious, right? They're doing a racing version of the Bentley, and so here it is. looking really good. I mean, obviously these are the signature colors for the Bentley GT3, the Continental. I think this was a basic, it's just moved to premium. I don't think we've seen it in premium before. So I think this outside of the Fast and Furious, which just is coming out. So they probably prepped it for this and then said, hey, we already got it, let's put it in Fast and Furious. I'm almost positive that's how it happened. They prepped it for race day and then said, we can do it for Fast and Furious, even though it's not really the Bentley Continental, we'll just do a racing version. That's a conversation for another time, but this one does look nice. Would have loved to have the racing number on the side, all things considered, but this thing looks really nice in its racing livery, and maybe we'll see that in the future. Let's go to number 4. This is the 2023 Nissan Z GT4. I believe this is also a new casting. I don't think we've seen it. It pretty much is the other Z, but there's obviously elements. The normal Z casting that they've done, but there were other elements obviously for the GT4 that they've added. This one seems to be a companion piece to this earlier released Pop Culture GT-R, done in this Nismo GT coloring, racing GT coloring. Obviously we see, you know, Nismo on the back. I guess I could pull this out first, but coloring and everything else seems to suggest that these two are companion cars. But let's just go ahead and open it up. And then it might be easier. There, we'll just do this comparison. I mean, it makes sense, right? This coloring for these GT race cars. Track car is kind of, I guess if you've got the track car element with the Bentley and with the Nissan Z GT4, I think that's nice to see those together, right? So you get the IMSA deco on the Corvette, you get Bentley track car, you get GT4 track car that you could put next to the Nissan GT-R, which those look nice together. Maybe we can put those on my little racetrack here, or actually my just highway, but those look really good together. That is a nice car. And lastly, nice to see the BMW 320, lastly for now before we get to the Porsches, 320 Group 5 following up there at the end. Nice to see this casting return in another iconic homage, we'll say, not an exact livery to Jägermeister, but I think we know where Hot Wheels is going with this. There are some limitations, right, to what they can and can't do in a deco like this, but we do see it in orange. And then of course this is, the first version was in the iconic BMW M Racing livery, which makes sense. It kind of, you know, they put the number 12 in here, made it a racing car. This one was a really nice version. And now we have the orange version next to it. Like I said, there could be some elements more, but they just can't, you know, we all know they can't put an alcoholic beverage on a Hot Wheels car. We can. You can make the decals and do it, of course. But there it is, and we'll go ahead. I mean, I'll just put the two together. Same color wheel, actually a little bit darker wheel, but I'm glad that they're not doing just some black or gray on this one. I'm glad that they're doing like either, I guess you would call that copper or gold or yellow. I don't know, but they look really good together. We'll go ahead and put the orange one on the turntable. Absolutely love this. I love the casting. I love the fact that they're doing it in the iconic racing liveries, all things, you know, even with the limitations, I think it looks really, really good. So we could just say, with these 4, you already have a great set. But they, at least to me, and I'm assuming to a lot of you, the way I've been hearing everyone talk, they kind of pale in comparison to Rexy and Roxy. I talked to Charlie Angelo. Charlie is a designer for Hot Wheels. He's the one who worked on this casting. It is a brand new casting. It is the Porsche 911 GT3R. And if you know, with car culture, if you are not familiar, car culture the last few years, there have been chase cars. They are numbered 0 of 5, and they are always black. I think that was the intention in this set. But in talking to Charlie, I wanted to get a little bit of history in this, because every chase car for every mix has been black. It's been numbered 0 of 5. In the process, so I'll start from the beginning here. So this is the car that they were going to do. AO Motorsports, I'm going to say it right. AO Motorsports Boy, that came out. That was difficult to say. Came out with this fantastic livery, IMSA race car, Porsche race car, the Porsche 911 GT3R, the 992, with this fantastic Rexy livery, this dinosaur livery, which was so, I mean, I think it stopped people in their tracks immediately. What a cool, clever racing livery. This car's been performing very well as well. Hot Wheels saw it and said, we got to do it. They contacted AO Motorsports. AO said, we're in. Actually brought the car to Mattel so the design team, including Charlie, could take a look at the car up close, get all the details, and really be able, because Porsches, and Charlie said this, Porsches are notorious for being difficult to shrink down just with these angles. And so they were really happy to be able to get up close with this car, really study it. And Charlie did an amazing job. In fact, I'll show you the prototype here as we're talking that he brought with him to Atlanta for the sneak peeks we did. And then you can see the plain version of the casting and kind of get a sense of how detailed and how beautiful it done, even without this livery, the casting is. I mean, the great thing about this livery is it's clever. The other thing, the one negative, I guess, from a casting perspective, it's hard to get the sense of how beautifully detailed and how sleek this car looks. So you get a sense with the prototype. Nonetheless, AO was so excited about this, the Hot Wheels actually produced for the first time, and I have an image of that too, a little turntable shot that I shot in Atlanta, but I don't think I put in the sneak peeks, they did a 3D print with graphics. The first 3D print that they did with graphics, I think Andres did the deco, and they did a version of Rexy to show, to give to AO Motorsports for them to be able to promote it and say, hey, the Hot Wheels is coming. So that's a really cool element too in this story. Like, there was just excitement across the board. Hot Wheels was excited, AO was excited. There was a lot of effort being put into getting this right between the designers, between AO providing everything that the designers needed to make this casting right, and then even promoting it the way they did with the 3D print. So that takes us to this. Casting is designed, they're working on the deco, they may have already slated this to be the chase, and then AO said, psst, hey, we have a secret for you. We're making Rexy's sister. That's how they term it. Rexy has a sister, and that sister is Roxy. They said, we haven't announced it yet, we haven't shown it yet, it's secret, but Hot Wheels team, we want you to know that this is coming. And the Hot Wheels team said, we'd like to do it. Do we do it as a second color in a future mix? Or do we do it as the chase and make the first non-black chase? So they went to AO, talked about it, told them about the chase concept, which AO needed to learn. And Jimmy, Tiff, marketing team, and design team got together and said, what if we made Roxy the chase? AO said, we are all in, and here we are. The first non-black chase in car culture. It is a fitting, appropriate deviation from the norm, and it's a fantastic chase. And yes, it's gonna be crazy as people try and get this one. And I don't blame them. It's fantastic. So I'm gonna open up this casting. We're gonna take a look at it close up. I am keeping this one carded because I have a feature coming on the chases. I promise I'm gonna open this one up, but we're gonna focus on the casting. We can do some comparisons. The decos are very similar. In fact, they do follow that chase model in that everything remains the same. The numbers are even the same. That amazing front grille that Roxy has as well, brother and sister. Everything else seems to be the same. The tail up top. But let's take a look at this casting. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one here, in fact here, in the background, and let's take a look at this model. I promise the chase feature I'm doing is gonna be a good one, and then we'll go from there. Look at me, I already opened it up. Charlie did say, and we'll go ahead and put this on the turntable. We've seen already the prototypes and we've seen some of the other elements of this, but we'll go ahead and put it on the turntable. I love the livery. Van did this one. Van does most of the premium liveries. He does for RLC and for Car Culture, all of the decos. The casting is fantastic. Charlie said it was a challenge to do like the racing windows on this one, just because they wanted to get that right. Interior, it's hard to really kind of get a sense of the interior on this one. It's because it's black, but we'll be able to figure that out as we go. This is the first, outside of those prototypes, this is the first I see it because I didn't have the sneak peek of this one, when I did Ron's premium sneak peek earlier. It's cool to see how the intakes have been done on the hood and on the side. The spoiler is plastic, which I seriously prefer because they can do them just a little bit, they just be a little more, I use the word crisp, just a little tighter, a little bit more defined. And so seeing a defined spoiler is a very, very good thing as well. Side mirrors are there. Everyone wants the side mirrors, and I agree. I like having them. I think every one of these models has the side mirrors. That's nice. Nonetheless, this is a beautiful, beautiful casting. So on its own, we already said these four are great. Add a legendary, fantastic new model in Rexy, and then add to it one heck of a chase with the pink Roxy. And I think Race Day is going to be a legendary set. TerraTrek's no slouch, neither is Modern Classics. Those are going to be popular too, but really, really digging this set. You guys tell me what you think. You're going to look for it? Yeah, I'm sure you are. Hobby dealers will get it. You might want to buy cases from there. We'll see how these chases kind of pan out, how they're distributed. But it's definitely one worth getting, no doubt. Thanks, Mattel, for sending this. Thanks, AO and Charlie, for talking to me. This is a fun one. Bye.